Ribbon cables. Ah, they're such a pain. It can be a great success or it can be a great failure if it's not designed right. And only you will figure that out yourself. If it's not the right one for your company, if you're working for an OEM and you see they're having a lot of failures, that needs to be brought up as an electronic technician to your engineer to let them know that, hey, we're experiencing problems. And there's a wide variety of connectors and wire harnesses that go into play with different things. It could be from these flat ribbon cables here to wire harnesses that have an oval connection, which I don't have an example for, and failure that you're going to see. Working as a biomed technician, there's a lot of cables that go bad, and working for factories and companies in the past, I've seen a lot of wire harnesses and wire and ribbon cable that have failed as well. So I've seen a wide variety of cables going bad and harnesses going bad. So when you're working on electronics and you're having intermittent problems, you might want to take and just kind of look at the cable that you have and ohm it out and make sure you wiggle and make sure that it has all the connections that you need, because this might be the only problem that you're working on. And you might be chasing it around the circuitry and you will never suspect that simple wiring can cause failure. Failure is what we're looking for when we're troubleshooting, so keep that in mind. Working with ribbon cable, flat ribbon cable, the FPC, I think there might be FCC or FFC, I don't remember anymore. Basically, these flat ribbon cables like this, they can cause stress if you're bending them too much. Televisions are the same way. There are lots of TVs. This is actually a board from a television. Will have problems with video connections and whatnot. And often enough, if you take and remove the wire harness like this or the ribbon cable itself, you can take just a pencil eraser and clean that up. Because simply, sometimes that's all the problem is. I've taken and reseated connectors and it took care of my issue. So that's one thing you need to keep in mind, is make sure all your harnesses are plugged in and then stay plugged in. I've came across TVs that harnesses were, while in production, were kinda half in the connector, intermittently making the connection, and ultimately caused the TV to stop working. So if you're working as a electronics assembler or production employee, it's something you always want to make sure that everything gets connected and seated properly. There's different styles, thousands of different styles. You have some that flip up and the connector that the wire that goes in and it closes. You have some that kind of shells in, some that screws on, some that's just plugged in. So there's many different styles of wire harnesses and connectors. And you'll experience that and you'll get through and gain that knowledge of what you need to look for. So you'll even get to experience sometimes even changing connectors with customers. It's not talking about TV boards, but other boards will rip connectors off. I've actually got an example here that I can share where something that somebody sent in and they tried disconnecting the ribbon cable and ultimately broke it. That's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be flat. So you'll get to change those out. Anyway, that's what I have to talk about for ribbon connectors. Just make sure that you look at all your specs. You don't want to cause any great bends or anything like that, cause any failures. There's regulations and stuff like that. You can look up on that. Just an advice. Thanks for watching. If you're new to this channel, this is a playlist that I'm putting together. I suggest going back to the first one. I think this is episode 10. Don't quote me on that. If you're an electronic technician and you want to share your knowledge and experience working on a different equipment, and you want to be on this channel, send me a message, drop me a comment, and we'll bring you on. I want to get other people's knowledge and opinions about working on electronic and the future of working on electronics as a seasoned technician and what you see that's going to happen in the future. Everybody knows now, or should know by now, that electronics more and more is becoming a throwaway technology. We're in that time frame where it's cheaper to take and just chuck the board, buy a new one, put it in. And that's what I'm trying to get away from people from doing that. I would rather you take and gain the knowledge, change the $5 chip, fix the board, and keep these out of the landfill. Because if you're in America, often enough this either goes in a landfill or goes to an electronic scrapping yard, or either gets shipped off to China or Africa or some third world country that is polluting their country. So if you're not aware of that, there's videos that talk about that, about e-waste. So look up e-waste and you'll see where your equipment's going to if you don't fix it. You're destroying the world and the planet by doing so. If you can fix it, fix it. If you can't, well, it happens. That's all I have to say. I'll see you next time.